Welcome to Part 15, my report on the McCarrick Report by Patrick Parson. Believe it or not, we have reached page 29, where we find the start of Chapter 5 of the McCarrick Report, Tenure as Bishop of Metuchen, 1982 to 1986. McCarrick was installed as Bishop of Metuchen on January 31st, 1982. He mentioned in newspaper interviews that he had literally dozens of cousins and that their children were like his nieces and nephews. McCarrick immediately started focusing on increasing the number of vocations in his archdiocese. He ordained 2 men to the priesthood in 1982, and the number kept increasing. He ordained 9 in 1985 and 15 in 1986, the second largest class of ordinandi in the United States that year. Although the report does not define the term, an ordinandi is a candidate for ordination. He also became a successful fundraiser in his diocese. In 1983, McCarrick initiated a campaign called Forward in Faith, which raised over $14 million for various projects in the new diocese. Here the report mentions in a footnote that McCarrick often used seminarians to drive him to events in the area. He also invited seminarians to spend time with him in the beach house in Sea Girt, New Jersey, purchased by the Diocese of Metuchen in 1985. According to the footnote, it was a common practice for dioceses and religious orders in the mid-Atlantic region to own New Jersey shore houses, which were used for retreats and vacations by priests, brothers, and nuns. In an interview, one Metuchen priest said, "There was nothing strange about it. It was extremely common." McCarrick also remained very active in NCCB and USCC committees, and remained a member of the Catholic Relief Services Board of Directors. By the way, the National Conference of Catholic Bishops, NCCB, and the U.S. Catholic Conference, USCC, later merged to become the current USCCB, United States Catholic Conference of Bishops. McCarrick additionally was a member of the Catholic University Board of Trustees and also began service on the Board of Regents of Seton Hall University. McCarrick also did extensive traveling while Bishop of Metuchen. Flights included a trip to England, Ireland, and Austria in 1982, 6 trips to Rome from 1982 to 1985, Poland in 1983 and 1985, Israel in 1984, India in 1984, Tunisia in 1984, Santo Domingo in 1984, Sudan in 1985, Egypt in 1985, Morocco in 1985, Malta in 1985, and Southeast Asia in 1986. McCarrick met with Pope John Paul II multiple times during these trips and enjoyed positive interactions with the pontiff. So we see McCarrick was very active and did much traveling outside the scope of just being a diocesan bishop. Much was on account of his roles on the NCCB and the USCC committees. As Bishop of Metuchen, McCarrick's profile in the United States became more prominent, appearing on television and appearing at religious, political, and private events. During this time, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, asked McCarrick to serve as counterintelligence by developing a relationship with a Soviet Union KGB agent who had approached him. It is not known if McCarrick, who was described by Apostolic Delegate Lahi as someone wise enough to understand and not be caught, actually worked with the FBI or not. In one prayer service in 1985 in the Metuchen Diocese, McCarrick discussed the challenges that accompany a celibate life. And we quote, "You are called to leave the comfort of a sexual life of your own, to go to pastoral ministry and service. You are so often tested by loneliness, by lack of affirmation, by lack of understanding of your needs. But God has promised a love beyond compare. In spite of all temptations, let us reach out and embrace those He touches through us." Unquote. How sincere was McCarrick when he said this? Will we find any clues later in this chapter? Let's see if we learn anything in our next segment. Until then, let's say the Fatima prayer. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, and lead all souls to heaven, especially those in most need of thy mercy.